Hello, it's your favorite phrase from Afrihood Dialogues. Today, I'm speaking with our pioneer investor. He's a retired professor of finance from the University of Lagos. He has also written a few academic papers covering corporate sustainability, corporate environmentalism, and business modeling. This man has acquired 3 master's degrees, one in applied statistics, one in finance, and a master's in business administration. He also has a PhD in finance major and minor in econometrics. These are just a few of the things he has achieved for himself. Oh, he's also on the board of a company that provides financial solutions. This is to tell you that we're speaking with someone who has put in so much work to achieve his personal goals. We shouldn't expect less for his investment portfolio and his financial decisions. I present to you Professor Wilfred Iyiegbuniwe.
Good morning.
Good morning,
You're
sir.
welcome.
So, I've said a lot about your corporate profile, your educational profile. Your career spans about 40 years being a lecturer. Can you just give us a bit of your experience? Because I've also I read a lot about you, and I can see that you've contributed so much to putting your voice out there for the students and also for the lecturers, because I saw recently that you spoke about the government doing something for lecturers. Can you just give us a brief experience about that experience as a lecturer at University of Lagos, what it exposed you to? And I know you were really concerned about the housing of these lecturers. Can we speak on that?
Yeah, I was at the University of Lagos for 44 years. I joined the university as a lecturer too from Unilever PLC. Post my MBA degree, I joined Unilever as a brand manager. And after roughly 1.5 years, I was quite fine. I had moved on to become a senior brand manager, but I felt I needed to get my PhD done. If I had to, the best was to go back to the university. So I went back to University of Lagos, taught for a few years, and then went for my PhD in the US. Still came back to the university. It was tempting to stay back in the US, but I was conscious of the fact that my expertise was needed back home. And to start with, I was on the sponsorship of the university, so I felt I should give back. And I ended up staying 44 years with the university. Within the period, I had the opportunity of touching many lives, put it that way. My professional experience at the Industrial Development Bank, that's where I worked first before I went for my MBA. Though not for too long, but that exposed me to investment in the first place. My major is in finance, and my special area is actually, let me say, 2 key areas: corporate finance and capital market. Of course, capital market is the application of the corporate finance. Within this period of my university career, I also had the opportunity to participate in a lot of executive development programs for managers. I ran advanced advanced management course for Nigerian Industrial Institute of Management. It was a rewarding career, but financially, I will summarize it the way Asu puts it, that our take-home pay doesn't take us home. And that's where investment came in, not only as what I can call laboratory work, that what you teach, what you research, you want to see it at work. And that was the interest of going into capital market. Of course, the Bible said that those who work in the vineyard will not be hungry. So you have to also practice what you teach, have to invest. Because there's this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. The key thing The book says, it's a small book, but the key thing it says is that you can invest 10% of whatever you have, and your lifestyle will not change drastically. In other words, investing is an attitude. It's not only for the rich. That you can always put out a little away for the future. It's all about consumption. The one you consume now and the one you hope in future you will consume. Along the line, I got interested in real estate. Of course, it's part of finance, real estate finance. It's part of trying to see what you teach or what you preach. Does it work?
It's like the application
Yeah,
of
you have
all
to.
you...
Yes, you have to see whether it works. That's helped to broaden my research and teaching experience, and also ensure that post-retirement, I'm not going to be stranded, because I want to make it clear that government is not really adequately taking care of university teachers. If you are what you have, what the government pays as salary, even pension, does not adequately take care of you. Because students, even your students on graduation, earn more than you do as a professor. But then that's where investment, in my own case, was supportive.
You saved yourself.
It's supportive in the sense that, okay, in the process of practicing what you preach, you're able to salvage yourself a little bit. My work in the industry was quite enriching. Working at Nigerian Industrial Development Bank, though not for a long time, and Unilever also gave me some insight into life in the industry. And I could compare very well when I say that lecturers are not adequately taken care of. Because even as a professor, a senior brand manager in Unilever that I left almost 44 years ago earns more. Of course, you can say the jobs are different, but I am not here to preach. I want to talk more about investment. Don't drag me into how government treats lecturers, because that's an emotional issue.
I can understand that.
It's an emotional issue.
I can understand that. I would say kudos to you for actually taking it upon yourself to create investment capital for yourself and actually applying your research, your work into practice. So going forward, I mean, you've mentioned that you're in finance, capital markets. What would you say are the similarities with investing in capital markets instruments and real estate?
I'll put it this way. Real estate investment is chunky. You need to have a sizable amount of wealth to get into real estate, except if you invest in a real estate investment trust, which come in small bits, like shares. But that is not really, in fact, it's an area that real estate has not quite embraced in Nigeria. I would say that for me to advise anybody in wealth creation, that I would say the capital market is a good starting point. Invest in shares, invest in bonds. If your investment is successful, you build up some wealth, and at some point you now have enough money that you can think of buying, real estate. Real estate, either you buy some land you might not actually want to build. You might just want to speculate on the value. And if it's in a good location, it appreciates with time, you know. But then you have problem that it has to be safe. If not, you will lose the land to Amonile people, you know.
Yeah.
You buy into an estate, you know. Of course, the minimum you can think of is a 1-bedroom, self-contained, as the real estate balance goes.
Yeah.
Or the 1-bedroom flat or 2-bedroom. But you know that this don't come in little bits of money. Shares, you have shares that sell for 10 naira, 5 naira, some even less. You know, penny shares. So an average person can, you know, invest in them. So to me, a good starting point in wealth building is start with the capital market, invest in bonds or invest in shares, of course, including the very common one, savings accounts in banks, you know. And then as you build up, you can get into real estate. Real estate is not for everybody. It's not, because of the fact that it's pricey. But again, it's a matter of planning. And those who are not knowledgeable need investment advisor that can give you, you know, advice in what areas to invest, and in particular, what to avoid, not to get your hands burnt. I would say, for example, a major issue in the capital market is the regulation and supervision of the capital market, which Security and Exchange Commission has major responsibility, the stock exchange, to see that you know, companies don't issue shares that what you call Ponzi scheme, you know, that just would defraud people, you know, of their money. So that's what makes, again, the capital market attractive for beginners, because you are able to play in a market that is regulated.
I see your point.
But if you get to some point, you will think of investing in real estate. What makes real estate quite attractive is that it gives a stronger protection against inflation than shares, because of the retention of value. Real estate investment, whether it's land, whether it's housing, appreciates in value with time, particularly if it's in a good location and all the parameters are right. So it's a stronger protection against inflation than you have with shares.
So why Afrihood?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Preparing for my retirement, which meant I need to think of where to live. I had lived in the university residence for quite some years. I actually had bought some properties before this time. That's when I started thinking of retirement being around the corner. But these were not properties I want to live in. Neighborhood or location factors. So I wasn't, looking out for something that where I can get a property to live, and something that would not be very different from what I have experienced in university residence. And I ran into the advert by Afrihood. I looked at it, put a call across. In fact, it was Olufemi who picked the call. We talked. Again, you have to be careful. I've had experience with some real estate companies some that I still have some issue with. I don't want to mention their name because I'll be demarketing them. But that's a warning to them that you don't mess up your investors, subscribers, because the chicken can come home to roost. Yes. I met with Olufemi Shields. We talked. I sized him up. You have to. I must say that there are two things here. One is you have to be led by the Holy Spirit. You have to entrust whatever you're doing that is good and laudable, ask God to direct you. That was one part. But then talking with him, I said, okay. He took me to the site at Pangrove. I saw it, the place. I talked to my wife. We visited the place. I made comparison with other locations I had in mind. One of the things that attracted me to Isaac residence is the location. Of course, in real estate, location is always an important factor in terms of value and in terms of what you get out of it. I like the location, and then was the issue of, okay, due diligence. What do I know about Afrihood? I must say there was not so much I could hold on to. But talking with him, I felt I could, do business with him. Simple.
You could trust him with your money.
There's that being led by the Spirit. And then I said, okay, let's give it a shot and see what will happen. We had a meeting at the Ikoyi office. There were some other investors who came. I think a number of them chickened out because they didn't have the guts, I would say, to go ahead. I think Afrihood, I won't say I'm pleasantly surprised, but it has more or less confirmed the hunch I had about him. I saw drive in him. I saw the can-do spirit. I saw seriousness, and I felt that this young man, if given the opportunity, I think
he'll perform.
He will do it. And that's how we got into this. At the meeting we had, we spoke out to the other would-be subscribers, prospective subscribers. I think we were about 8 or so. It turned out that I think most didn't have the ability to design, how can you tell a fraudster or somebody who doesn't have the capacity, how can you tell that apart? And I would think I'm the only one that came out of that group. And then we took it off from there. I made the initial payment. And I must say that there was a little bit of speculation in the sense that there were not too many factors that I could hold on to. But something deep in me believed in him, period. Then other subscribers came along. It was in the process of our discussion that this concept of pioneer came in. Yes, the pioneer came in. And I'm not going to give more detail as to how we came along. But it's so, we give thanks to God today. The project is making good progress. In fact, it's going to change the skyline of that part of Palm Grove area, because we've moved from just original concept of two blocks, when I think it's going up to 4 now. And I dare say that, in fact, the whole stretch of that street will be taken over.
Very soon.
So it is a success story, I would say. But that success, I think, is due to integrity on part of Olufemi Shields. Because the fear most real estate investors have with what I can call almost startup real estate company is the fact that the developer could disappear with your money. And we've had stories like that in the press. I'm very much impressed with the integrity that Mr. Shields has demonstrated, and he has a very aggressive mind. He's a go-getter to me. I'm not marketing him as an individual. I'm just giving a little bit. In fact, I'm withholding some information, about I'm so impressed in terms of how much he has been able to achieve. The acquisition of the other plots, the buildings along that street where Isaac residence is located. Along the line, some investors wanted the Lupeju. And that's how the Dora project came in, where he now built duplex and has practically delivered on it. Because it was faster to do than the medium rise which Isaac and the other residents. In fact, I think the whole stretch of that estate will be called Isaac Residence, because there's no need giving a new name to them. To me, he's an example of what the Nigerian entrepreneurial spirit is. They drive, and I don't have any fear that the project will be delivered in due time. And by the time it does, it will be like a signature project, because I visit the site, I look at the progress. I'm very confident that the work will come out great.
We appreciate your belief in us, Prof. Viewers at home, if you're not here for the investment lessons, one thing we can pick from what Professor Wilfred has said is the ethical lessons. Integrity is key in everything that we do in life. Don't trade whatever, your success or anything, for a bad name. Always make sure that whatever you say, you can stand by it. Prof, you've said a lot about our founder, Olufemi Shield. If you're unfamiliar with this, Olufemi Shield is the managing partner of Afrihood, and that's who Professor Wilfred has been speaking about. And you've met a few of the member of staff from Afrihood. Can you relate this drive you see in Mr. Femi Shield, in the people he has hired? What can you say about the people that are working for the company that you have tied your money to?
Organizational culture has to deal with shared belief, among the people working in an organization. I would say that it's still a small team, a small organization, but there's that shared drive, the philosophy among the team, I think, is quite good. Yeah, it's not only him, and I must say, Femi has a lot of drive, a lot of drive. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. We really, really, really appreciate your belief in us. So, based on location, and we highlighted location. So,
Yeah, location.
Yes. Were you looking for Palm Grove or Ilupeju, or you were open? What was your approach to your search?
Actually, I have some real estate interests in the New Lagos, Bejuleki, Aziz, but I didn't really want to. In fact, my first stop was Osokpa. When first I went to Osokpa, Osokpa was actually a swamp.
Back in
No. Now Osokpa is, in fact, Osokpa, London.
It's a town on its own.
Oh, I've seen it grow. No. But I didn't like the traffic situation along that Lekki corridor. And I don't trust our government in terms of road network development. You see, the problem we have is that the estate developers are ahead of government in the sense that they go into a place, they open it up. Government will take a long time. In fact, it's when the traffic had become real chaos. That's when government will come in to try to do stuff. I think Lagos State government should try to be ahead of developers, open up virgin areas with road network, and you'll be surprised how the place will grow quick. If you look at, like, there's just that road to Ekpe. The alternate road, so-called alternate road, I don't know how many people use it. It's not really a solution because it's not developed, So you find that the traffic, if you are caught in traffic in that Aziz, I've been caught up there a couple of times, and I said, no, I won't. This is not it. You might say I'm old-fashioned. I still believe that at least I understand the traffic on the mainland. And this is where I share a philosophy with Olufemi Shields. His philosophy is that the mainland is good, but needs redevelopment. And really, this is something that even the state government ought to be interested in. Areas that are being run down. Yes, at the time, Ilupeju was a fantastic place. It's been run down. Same thing you can say about Sulere. And then you have these real estate development companies that are now taking it as their business, urban renewal, to renew such places. And I think the state government should give them tax concession or some assistance, because they're actually doing part of what the state government ought to do.
Should be doing infrastructural development.
If not, provide some incentives or encouragement that can bring more such companies into action. He believed that these areas, yes, the buildings are old, but we can redevelop them. And that's the concept of the IZ residence.
Yeah.
When you look at the profile, they look at the concept. By the time it's done, that's like a new area altogether. So for me, mainland, I understand the traffic structure. I know when to go out, when I should not venture out. And I think, like they say, the devil you know.
It's better than the angel you don't
And then
know.
the occasions I've gone to Lekki, I go there, to do business. And then the occasions I got trapped, and came back so tired, by the traffic. I said, no, I think I better look for something on the mainland. So first I was looking for something on the mainland. And then came Olufemi with Isaac Residence. And I said, this looks like it. And that's why.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
Professor Wilfred is seasoned. We've heard his professional profile. So if he's saying that Isaac is a good investment, you should at least put some bank on it, like Burna Boy said. You can bank on it. Anyways, we'll move to the next question.
Yeah, but as you know, the first, I think the first 2 blocks are sold out.
Yes.
Yes. So, you know.
What else do people want to know?
Yeah. The advantage I had is keying in early.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I believe that is a fantastic location, because you can get to any part of Lagos easy from that location.
Yeah.
And the real estate location is a factor.
It's a huge factor.
Yes.
The appreciation for personal movement and all that, or for the occupants movement. Are you aware we have other things coming up on the mainland as well? Like there's something coming up in Yaba.
Oh yeah.
Something fantastic.
You bet that I follow. You bet.
Okay,
you know,
sir.
I smell good investment.
That Yaba one, I think
that
is
one
gold.
We've talked about it. Fantastic location.
Yes, very fantastic.
But the fact is, you can't beat that location.
Chef's kiss.
You can't beat that location.
It's really good. It's a very, very good location.
And then there's the property developing right on Habat Macaulay. It's going to be fantastic from what I see there.
So, sir, we know you're retired, but I mean, speaking to you already, just these few minutes we've spent with you, there are a few nuggets you've dropped. And obviously, there might be viewers who might be interested in just investment, nugget, advice, consulting. Is this something you still offer, or you're retired on all aspects?
No. You can say I'm retired. Am I really retired?
You're a retired lecturer.
You know, currently I teach for the University of Lagos Business School.
Oh, nice.
I teach corporate finance and investment for them. I just resumed activity as the Dean for Management and Social Sciences for a young university in Lagos, Maranatha University. It's a young university. It's more like, okay, see what you can contribute, you know. So I'm not, to say really retired. It's more like change of, I don't call it retirement, I call it change of scene.
Nice.
Change of scene.
Change of work settings, sort of.
And do people really retire? Not really. I think you just change the focus of your work, the intensity of your work. That's, in terms of consulting, it's not what I do as a major activity, but you see, managing money is what we all think we know how to do, but that's not true. And that's why a lot of investors lost money in the capital market. Because evaluating stock market instruments, it requires some expertise. You don't invest on just sentiment. You don't invest just because you have some surplus income. It requires some good evaluation. The alternatives, investment is nothing but management of consumption.
That's such a good way to put it. Thank you so much, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen at home, so that was Professor Wilfred Iyiegbuniwe with us at Afrihood. We've learned so much from this conversation. Professor Wilfred, like I said, is a retired professor of finance. Upon retirement, he launched a book called Frontiers of Management Sciences in Nigeria. That book was written by over 90 academics from Nigeria, the United Kingdom, USA, and where, sir?
It was international. Let me just make a short remark. The book actually is what we call a first script. It's a book of honor from our academic work.
Yeah.
And most of the contributors are my mentees, you know, people who were at one time my students, you know. in different areas. Some are in US, some are in Britain, most in Nigeria, and came together and said, let's get this. And this is a way to also make a statement that in management science, we have come to mature in Nigeria. We have something to contribute. So it's a book that I think our counterparts in other countries, when they look at it, can get some idea as to what we do in Nigeria in terms of management sciences. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Professor Wilfred. Regardless of all the odds with his career, considering social factors and political factors, Professor Wilfred has defied all odds and still been able to create investment funds for himself to be able to chase his goals and secure his future. We've learned so much from you, Professor, today. Are there any notes you'd like to end with? Any advice, tips for anyone at home?
Real estate, which is the main thing that brought this interview. In Nigeria, there's need for government to see that we have what I call an enabling environment that encourage property developers. Like, let me be specific with the kind of what Afrihood is doing. Afrihood is really in the business of urban renewal. Rebuilding the old Lagos. Yeah. Let me put it that way. And that type of activity should give Lagos State support. Support either in terms of incentive, either in terms of tax concession, the process of approvals that would encourage such companies to put in more effort in rebuilding, the old Lagos to a modern city.
Yes.
Generally, in terms of real estate investment in Lagos, which is a very big area, the Mulliner phenomenon, the challenges that property investors face are things that I think are getting attention of the Lagos state government. I would say, kudos to the state government. Lagos is a major real estate hub in terms of growth, and it's a major factor in the growth of Lagos State, both growth and income. There are charlatans in the business, and it's important that such charlatans are not allowed to thrive. Otherwise, it's like bad money drives good money. You are dealing with an estate developer, collects money from people, and then you start chasing the company to get your property, and it's not forthcoming. You go into costly litigation, that's
even more than your investment.
So it's no longer an investment so that's what is important. For those that are doing well, they should be encouraged. They should be given incentives. In fact, Afrihood is going to change the landscape of Pangrove. Definitely.
Thanks you.
Investors who have keyed in early will benefit. The latecomers will pay more for it. Yes, the latecomers will pay more for it.
I mean, we know there's been appreciation since your investments, but can you kindly confirm that there's appreciation?
No, that's what I've just said that. I'm not putting figures at it.
Yeah.
I mean, when the ISA residence was advertised the first time, it was advertised at 35. Okay, the early investors got some discount. The property is going for 59 million now.
That's what we appreciation. Yes.
Am I right?
You're right. You're correct.
But that's how real estate goes in. The early bed,
They always gain more. Yeah.
So as the project progresses, it appreciates in value. Of course, value is being added. So you can see that value has been added.
Yes.
And all those who partook in in it will get rewarded. That's kind. I see Afrihood growing real big. In fact, I called what is going to happen in Yaba. It's going to be fantastic.
That's still one project that excites me so much.
It's going to be really fantastic. And that's a very fantastic neighborhood.
Very.
You can't beat the Yaba as is.
Students.
In fact, it's the central Lagos for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can get to any part of Lagos from there. And fast.
You meet different kinds of people there,
Yes.
different lifestyles. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. It was an honor sitting down with you, tapping into your wealth of knowledge. We really, really do appreciate it, sir. Afrihood is grateful. On behalf of them again, I say thank you.
My pleasure, and we thank God. God is the enabler, makes all things good happen.
Yes.
And we give thanks to God. We pray that Afrihood will grow from strength to strength. It's actually growing very fast. Yeah. Because to look at the projects that have been accomplished in a very short space of time, you know, the Dora in the Lupeju, the Ize, and this Yaba project that is coming up is really having a fast growth. We give thanks to God and ask for his favor, good health, wisdom, and protection from evil in any type and any form.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thanks, Prof. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Professor Wilfred with us at Afrihood. We admire his social skills despite all his professional achievements. He's proved that you can somehow have it all, be all, anything you want. And we appreciate him sitting down here to bless us with his knowledge. And just for context, we have our Ize residence, which is a block of luxury 3-bedroom flats coming with social amenities that will make your living so easy. And we also have 2 units of 5-bedroom duplex with BQ at Ilupeju called Dora, and we have a project coming up in Yaba called Mainland Towers and Millennium Court. Mainland Towers is a block of 1, 2, 3 luxury flats. It's going to blow your mind, guys. You should stay tuned to our YouTube channel, our Instagram page, LinkedIn, and our website. And we also have Millennium Court coming up in Yaba as well, 24 units of 4-bedroom semi-detached duplexes with BQ. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss out.